if your daughter was now to grow up and have a child that is estranged or whatever, would you want to know that child?
Wait, sorry, let me let my brain catch up with that.
So her kid...
If she has a child.
No, if her child has a child...
Yes.
That's estranged. So let's say the kid goes and lives with its dad or something. Would you as a grandma want to know your grandchild?
Absolutely.
So isn't it the same for your dad's mum?
Yeah.
Because I had the opposite experience.
Yeah.
My grandparents on my dad's side never reached out even once.
Oh, wow.
But they knew about me. I used to live with them.
Never reached out?
No, never, not once.
Ever reached out?
No, not once, no.
Oh,
But they knew
swear.
who I was. But for a long time, remember, I didn't really know my dad's side. I knew my grandparents a bit because I'd see them every 5 years or so, but I didn't really know them. So what would happen with me is, I remember this same 2016 December thing. It was a Christmas family reunion. It wasn't Christmas. It was 2 weeks before Christmas. And I walked into my granddad's living room and he went, "Oh, hello, are you okay, Alex?" Okay. Bear in mind, I haven't seen him for at least 5 years, probably more. I've never had any one-on-one time with him, nothing like that. But you knew me by name, so it wasn't you forgot about me or anything like that. But I thought maybe they forgot about me. I then was shocked that he greeted me by name and he knew exactly who I was.
Yeah.
He didn't have any massive conversation, but he Alex'd me, and that was a big moment for me because that confirmed to me, oh, you're just being ignorant, like, you know. So I thought to myself, how could you have grandchildren and you never thought to reach out? And your grandparents actually did want to reach out and let you know, like, we're still thinking of you. And even though it wasn't in the way you wanted it to, I still see the considerate side of it.
Yeah.
And now
No,
you're
I
a
definitely
mom.
saw that it was a considerate thing, but for me it was more fear-based because did not want that trauma from my dad. And obviously as a parent, you're going to want to try and repair things for your child. So she could see that her dad, her son, had obviously fucked things up. And she kept trying to push it. And for me, I was like, I don't want that. So when that was getting like ignored, it's like, now
But then
fuck
as
you off
being
too.
a mom now, if your
Yeah.
grandchild is ignoring you,
Yeah.
how would you feel now? Would you understand it because you've been in the same predicament, or would you be like, "Ah, well, you're lost," kind of thing? How would you go about it?
No, I feel like
Does that need a battery?
I definitely have more of an understanding, like from a grandparent's point of view, obviously. But I think because I was that child, also I'd sort of have more of an awareness of what the child might be feeling. So I might know how to deal with it better. Like I wouldn't be trying to forcefully push my child onto them if they didn't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all I wondered.
But it's really interesting that you said about how your grandparent greeted you, because despite my nan trying to contact me all those years, when I went to that surprise birthday for my uncle with my brother, that was the first time I'd seen her since I was a kid. And we stood outside and went to help her, like, carrying these boxes, and she got out of a taxi and she looked at me and she was like, "What's that in your tummy?"
Your
No,
nan?
yeah, no hello. Like, you've not seen me since I was a child. Like, no hello, nothing. Just, "What's that in your tummy?" And that was that. She walked in, and I was just carrying boxes behind her, pregnant. Like, I was like, wow. And my brother looked at me like, "Why did she just do that?" And I was like, "I don't know." And then the only other conversation we had that night with her was she came up to me and she was like, "You changed your number?" And I was like, "No, I've had the same number." She was like, "No, you haven't." I was like, "Yes, I did." And by then I was annoyed. I was like, "Yes, I did." And I just walked off. And from then she called me once and she was like, "Is the baby born yet?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, bye."
Wait, did she say hello and that?
On the phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hello, Shad. Yeah.
Okay.
She said hello.
Yeah.
That was it. She didn't ask how I was. She said, I don't know if it's just her, but she was very blunt.
Matter of fact.
Yeah.
Is it born yet?
Yeah, just, is it born? Is it born? Like, it's like, but it is what it is. It's strange.
I'm shocked you were shocked.
You're shocked, I'm shocked.
So you got reached out to?
Yeah, not loads, and not for some of the things I would have wanted to. But I know that I would have to. My nan would probably know best at this point. But I know that there were maybe like Christmases where I'd get a card and that card had money.
Did you ever live with your dad?
So, so my mum and my dad didn't live together. But so let's say the first 5 years, I would see my dad every now and again and stay at his house. Up until recently, I didn't even know how often it was. But I asked my mum the other day, and she was saying that I'd probably see him again, like maybe 3 times a year, something like that.
Do you remember going to visit him? Sorry.
Yeah, I remember his house, and I remember being at his house.
Me too.
But outside of the being at his house, I have no other recollection of my dad. So that I more remember my grandparents' house, because where I used to go primary school, my grandparents' house, my dad's side grandparents, was right next to the school.
Oh, so that's how you knew the other cousins then, I guess, no? Because didn't they go to that school as well?
Oh yeah, so I've gone. So like Hayden.
See, I didn't. This is making sense to me now.
Okay, yeah. So Hayden and Charlene. I don't know if you've met Charlene.
Yeah, I know Charlotte,
Okay,
Leon's
yeah.
sister, yeah.
Yeah.
She's cool.
So they both, we've gone school together, both schools, primary school, secondary school. Charlene even, we went college together, same course at college as well. So, yeah, maybe that's why I got, See, I've never even thought about that. I've never even
think
thought
that
about
might be
why
why
I'm
you
close
know
with them. But yeah, so I was at the school, and I guess Hayden's dad is one of the good ones out of the uncles, so...
He's the best.
Yeah, so that's why I had that relationship. I more have recollection of my grandparents' house. Not even that I remember being there bare, but I remember that more than my dad's house.
When was the last time you seen your dad?
15. So I saw him when I was 15 and when I was 17. So 15 was the first time I had seen him since 5.
Wow.
So that was kind of like this is the reasons why I left. I'd like to have some kind of relationship. And then 17, we went, me and my brother and my 2 sisters, we went to, I think, bowling and Nando's.
Are you all of the same dad?
All of
They're
the same
all his
dad.
kids?
Yeah. Me and my brother have the same mum. My sisters have a different mum. Well, same dad, yeah.
Do you feel like now as a big man that you'd have anything to say to him or even to shout at him for or anything like that? Do you have anything left of that? Or any whys?
I've never been mad or angry or like, I hate dad. It's just been literally just...
Matter of fact.
Literal. You just...
Who's been the father figures that you've had in your life? Do you feel like you've had that in replace, which is why you're not bothered about your dad? Because you are very unbothered about your dad.
Yeah. So I think, so in the way of like, let's say protection, I've always had my brother who's a bit older than me, but because he's more been the bad boy, I've more been the good boy. So it's like, if I need protecting, I've got my bad older brother. And then I've got my uncle who used to live in Nottingham, but then has lived here for like maybe 7 years now. So it's like him again. And again, he's someone who I'd see as like, I got my bad uncle as well. Do you get what I'm saying?
Who taught you how to be a man?
That's a good one.
My granddad passed when I was 10. So I'll say up to 10, my granddad. After that, myself.
So you're a man at 10?
No, up to that, my granddad. And then
You learn how to have a shower.
from 10, myself and my friends.
Wow.
I'd say mainly myself, but then my friends. So Hayden is a big part of directing me on the right track to being a man and a good man. And yeah, friends.
Hayden gave me a hug. Hayden is about the same size and build and height as my dad. And it caught me off guard and I started crying. Because when I hug him, it feels like I'm hugging my dad. Before I was healed, it was like whoosh, like I'm hugging my dad. It felt so weird and I just started crying. That's how close my dad and his hug feels to me. So him being like somebody that you look to as a father figure, though I don't see him as a father figure per se, he's definitely one of the most important men in my life for sure. And that physical feeling of like fatherless, just for that minute that he hugged me, it broke me. I don't know how old I would have been, probably 15. But that messed me up. I remember just weeping, and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "You felt like Dad." You know, that was a crazy moment. Have you had something like that?
Never. No. I don't know. Well, one, I don't know what that felt like Dad feels like. So
and my dad's smell, that's something that never ever leaves me. My dad's smell.
Nah.
I haven't got any of these kind of connections over it like that.
I don't know his quirks and stuff, but his smell is vivid. Like,
I wouldn't know his smell. No. I wouldn't know.
Wouldn't know favorite food.
What his height felt like. Nothing. So nothing. That's the thing. Nothing can remind me of my dad
because it's absent as opposed.
Because it's interesting because you said that you loved your dad. Would you say that about your dad, that you love him?
Hell no.
Exactly. Would you say that you?
No.
How about have love for him?
No.
And I'm the same kind of way.
He's just a stranger.
Would you say that obviously there's a such thing as daddy issues for girls? Do you think there's a version of that for guys?
Yeah. 100%.
Easily.
100%.
And
I think it's crazy, like how a lot of like the backlash of not having a dad is so focused on the effect on girls, but no one really wants to talk about the effect it actually has on boys.
No one don't care about boys' emotions.
I care. I remember having this conversation with you before, and you were just like,
No, people think they care because when you think, if I say to you, do you care about someone's emotions? Your instant response is going to be yes, because like, as humans, we care about people's emotions.
It depends on the person.
No, but I'm saying if you don't beef the person, if you like the person, you say you care. But general people say, yeah, I care how people feel. I care if someone's upset. When it comes to men, you subconsciously don't care or care less or feel like they're calm.
So what daddy issues?
It's like even not even girls. Sorry, people say men have less emotions. They're less emotional. That is gas. Like men are as emotional as women. They just show it differently. But because a man will feel emotional and punch someone in the face, it's not classed as emotional no more. You're more emotional. You couldn't handle yourself to the fact that now your body is moving out of control because you're that emotional. But because we're used to men being more that guy or the shouting one, it's not seen the same. But on the grand scheme, men's emotions ain't really, no one cares.
So what daddy issues do you have? Yeah.
Me. I don't think anybody. Let me deep it so I'm not just giving.
That's the daddy issue.
If I was to ask your ex-girlfriends, what daddy issues do I have? Okay.
She's the worst one to ask.
10 years ago.
She's the worst one to ask.
Yeah, but you would still know, like,
what daddy issues do I have?
What daddy issues would your exes say you have? Because if they're in a proper meaningful relationship, they'll probably see things about you that you don't see about yourself.
Let me think about that. Give me a minute. What daddy issues do I have?
Some elevator music now.
I don't think anything that I have, whether good or bad,
is having an absent dad. Go on.
What? Yeah, honestly.
Okay. I have one as a friend.
Oh, go on.
So, because you're very different who you was 10 years ago. Very different as a person. Who you are now, you are a father figure to so many people. I don't know if that's a daddy issue, but you have a want to protect.
Oh, like I like people to save people and that.
Kind of, or be there. You know, if it's be me, Shan, like there's so many people I could talk about.
Okay, yeah, I do have that, but I don't see.
And you ask so many questions.
I was gonna say you really want to know. You are a dad.
This is like the first thing I want to like. People don't ask questions to their peril. Like people mess themselves up by not asking questions. Many things will be solved if we just ask questions. Like, and I don't like being close with people who I don't know. Like, if I'm living with Tashan and I feel like I don't know Tashan, I don't want to live with him. I don't want to be around. If someone's my people, if I want to say, yo, Shan's my dog, I need to know Shan.
So you're kind of protective over both men and women that you like
over himself,
and
because he needs to be able to vouch for these people.
Oh yeah. So when it comes to the protectiveness, I'll maybe more towards girls because that's kind of the role that I feel like a man takes. But it's not because I feel like for it to be a daddy issue, it would be like, oh, I needed to be cared about by my dad, or I needed to be protected by my dad. My dad didn't do that, but now I'm going to do it for other people. I don't feel like, oh, this is what I wanted from you, daddy, and you didn't give it me, daddy.
But you've ended up being a father to so many people.
I feel like you personally want to be a father.
I think that's because eventually.
It's a personality.
No.
I think that's just because
to father others, whether
you act as that role model person.
But maybe that's your inner child because your inner child never had that. So maybe
No,
you're
but
now
that's what I'm
ensuring
saying. My
others don't
inner
feel that
child
same
did
way.
have that, just not from my dad. And that's I never felt like I wanted it from my dad, and I had it from others. So it's not something I lacked either.
Do you feel like the people who you, because obviously I don't have many father figures in my life. I don't know about yourself, but in that sense that, do you feel like you father people who you feel like they don't have or they're missing, or like, is it just by fluke or?
I feel like if someone tells me their life and their life ain't the greatest, and I know I may possess a skill set
To improve it.
to help or improve it, I want to.
That's me.
Now,
You can tell you're related.
me,
Yeah.
no, because it's Hayden as well.
Yeah.
Hayden's
Yeah,
son as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
So
We're
for
all
me,
first cousins.
I don't look at it as a daddy issue. I look at it like I've been blessed. I feel like I've been blessed to be as solid a person as I am, as emotionally stable as I am. Like I don't be flipping out, losing control.
Neither.
I feel like I'm fairly smart. I can read people quite well. I feel like I'm blessed in that sense. So if I come across someone who's not, I'm gonna help them. If I feel like, how did this get here? If I feel like someone's so you're with a guy and that guy's not good for you and that guy's gonna end up dead over your life, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna advise you, I'm gonna.
What
be
are you
like,
saying you're going to? Like you haven't.
obviously, because I ain't trying to point at you like that. I'm just saying in general.
Don't worry,
and
you can point everywhere.
yes, I'm just gonna help, and I'm just gonna be like, okay, maybe this way, maybe that way.
Yeah. It's not like a daddy issue. It's more of an observation, but
Yeah.
I feel like it has changed you.
But then I will help my male friends. Like I say to Tashan Bear, like Tashan used to smoke weed, and I would always say to him, Tashan's the only person I know who smokes weed heavily that seems to be good. Now, if Tashan does something along the lines of maybe he ain't good, I've said to Tashan, I don't even feel like you're 100% good. I just think I don't know it yet. And I'm saying, so the approach with my male friends as well. Same if I'm talking to Dwayne, I'm a bit to Dwayne, like I don't think, so it's not even a girl thing, it's just a me thing, but I don't think it's a me thing based on my dad. I don't think my dad, the most my dad will control is like, I don't know. I could more say I went through Macalla family trauma than dad trauma. Because like, let's say, so like you've said, you went to the house for Christmas. I've never been to the house for Christmas, but like there'd be Christmases where I see like pictures and there's all the cousins at the house.
Oh, yeah, those
But
are
I didn't get invited. I could feel more of a way.
Birthdays and stuff that
By
I don't get
far,
invited
I feel more of a way over that than anything to do with my dad. And my dad can't cause an emotion to flow from me
How
in
do
terms
you
of
feel?
thinking about it. Go on.
How did you feel when you found out that your father had passed, or when you found out he was going through dying and then he had passed?
Nothing.
Cold, man.
No, I hear.
No,
that.
like, what can I feel? Like if you tell me,
No, I'm not.
If John lives down the road and you say, "Yo, John's got cancer," yo, that's peak for John. No, I feel more for John because I don't know John, but Josh, which is my dad's name,
Okay.
I didn't know that.
it's like he wasn't about for me. People call him Orlando, and I've got the name Orlando as well. But I didn't feel no way negative. I didn't feel, because I don't have no hate for him.
It was
Just
just
like,
feel that.
yeah.
But
Do you feel like have
on.
any similarities? Because like,
he doesn't
My
know
dad.
him well enough to know?
I think
Or as everyone said
I think
that you've
I look
got-
similar to my dad. I think
Like
I've
a
got a
mum.
charm to me, and I know that my dad was a charming guy. I think from what I receive, he got gal. I'm not saying that I get gal, but he had a charm to him.
Allegedly.
I want to put that on the podcast.
Yeah.
You're gonna edit that bit out.
Yeah.
My dad had a charm that I think I have a charm, and I look like him.
Jamal, as a male, do you know, like, when it comes to daddy issues, they tend to say the effect on young girls is that later in life they might be more promiscuous, or they'll date older guys, or
See, I disagree with
these
this
different
straight off.
stereotypes that they have. What do you personally feel like men? What do you feel like their effects might be? Based on your personal experience. Because what I know of to be the effects that they say as a stereotype on boys, I don't feel like you're any of them.
Have you ever had your hoe phase?
I don't think. Have I had what?
Your hoe phase. Because as a man, most men do, right?
He's living it.
We're currently seeing an under the pad baby.
No, I don't think I've had a whole phase like been on a mad one, but
For you,
I've definitely done lots of things that I regret / wouldn't do if I had the chance to do it again.
Do you think that's seeking love?
The male in these pictures is my dad.
I had a vague picture of his face. He's like a wider face version of you.
Basically, yeah.
I think you're prettier than he is.
No, I think so too. Thank you.
Yeah. Not by much, though, don't.
Just had to cut me down a bit.
If your dad's a 6, you're like a 6.5.
Yeah, I'll take 6.5. You know, I think I'm a 7, so it ain't too far off.
You could be 5 with a trim.
So
Or could I be an 8 with a trim?
Don't get ambitious.
Well, 8. No, 8's there still. Don't.
The genetics are saying 4.
My genetics are strong, you know. Everybody good looking still. With a suit and a trim, it's therefore 18 still.
what was the final question you asked us?
I can't remember. No, I was saying
Do you think the lack of your dad will have an impact on how you raise your children? Has it made you be like, I'll definitely be there, or
Yeah. It's definitely given me that. Because I still can't fathom how a man can look, say that's my child, and then go. My head still can't wrap itself around that. Like, so that's why I have to be super careful with who I deal with female wise, because
don't say females, women. We're not a breed of horse.
Women, yeah.
Thank you. Pure
women wise, because I can't. I have to be so careful with who you make a baby.
That's why it's good you found God.
He doesn't want to find someone that won't give the child his surname.
You know, it wouldn't make sense. There's a lot of things that wouldn't make sense. But that's because I plan to be more active than the mum in the child's life. So you can't come to me with no halfway talks. You can't come to me with no, I'm not giving the child. You don't have the choice. It's like, that's my child. You can't tell me that you're not giving the child.
And that is where I agree, because a lot of dads say, I want my child. But then where are the court documents? Where's the letters that you've written to your kid every year on its birthday? Because even though the mum won't give them, you've still made a record. Where's the saving account that you've had for your child? Where's the paperwork to say you've missed your child, as opposed to just lip service? I've missed my child. Because I got that. I got a lot of, I really missed you. And I'm like, well, where did you ask for custody? Where did you pay child support?
See,
where were all the letters?
These ain't even sentences that I understand.
Savings? But this is, to me, what I think it's about, because it's all well and good saying, I really missed you your whole life. Okay, where's the documentation to say so? Because let's be real, if someone stole your car, you'd call the police. Mm-hmm. And you'd be like, listen, this is the number plate, and it's a blue Honda, sort it please. No? But then your kid goes walkies and you just want to sit at home and mope.
Oh, yeah.
That's, I think, actions, and I think that what you have said there is like, you're willing to do all the actions, you're willing to knock down doors to get your 2-year-old out, and I agree with that.
I'm willing to go so far. You understand? I'm willing to go so far.
That's a good
and that's what I need, a woman who understands she can't play with my child. Mm-hmm.